Hi, this is Bill White, the synchronicity expert. I'm often asked exactly what it is that I do. In order to explain the concept of synchronicity and how it actually applies to your life, I'm going to give you an example of a recent string of synchronistic events that have happened in my life. It was last week, about midweek in the evening, where I was talking to a colleague of mine named Oscar. And we were talking about the whole principle of synchronicity and how it has to do with time and timing of events. And he had said that that was basically what synchronicity was. And I said, well, that's a big part of it. But there's also, when you have synchronicity, oftentimes things come in metaphors or symbols. And so in order to fully benefit from synchronicity, you have to be able to discern what those symbols mean. Also, another aspect of synchronicity, which is that it is cyclical. And what I mean by that is that if you are on the verge of an event horizon, what I would say is an opportunity for you to advance on the path of your destiny, synchronicity will begin to occur. And if you follow the synchronistic signals in the right way, you will have taken, say, another step up the ladder of your destiny. You will have achieved one of your intended pivotal moments in your life. But oftentimes what happens is that we miss the relevance of the synchronicity, or we make the wrong choice, and so that opportunity passes in time. But the good news is that if it is a destined outcome, then once a cycle completes, the synchronistic events will happen again, and you'll have a second opportunity to make the correct choice. And what I was talking with him specifically about as this conversation progressed is that I am working now on figuring out the formula to determine how long these cycles last. And so I'm looking for the variables to plug into a formula to be able to calculate this accurately. He was kind of in disbelief when I told him about this initially, but I told him that it was my suspicion that the cycles had something to do with the golden mean. And so he considered it and thought, well, maybe you're onto something. Fast forward to the next evening, I was sitting at home and I got a call from another colleague, and we were talking about meeting at an event here in the Dallas area around the first of the year. And he told me that he was going to be departing a day earlier than he had expected because he was invited to a very prominent business person's home. And so he considered that as a golden opportunity. And I agreed with him and said, it was wonderful. And he said, well, I had this opportunity once before, but I had some problems going on in my life and I actually missed the event. So the cycle has come back around. Now, having talked about cycles the night before, and then when this other guy talked about cycles, this was what I call the power of two. And the power of two is when a particular theme repeats itself more than once, so that you are starting to become aware of a pattern. Now, the next morning, I had to take my son home early because he had a birthday party to attend, and I had gotten a notice about a package at the post office. And so I went down to the post office to claim the package, and after waiting in the line, I went up to the counter and spoke with the woman and presented her the slip and my ID, and she went to the mail room to get my package. And just as soon as she stepped away from the counter, I had this thought that she was going to come back and say that she was sorry, but she couldn't give me the package because it had been placed back on the truck and would be delivered later today. Sure enough, less than half a minute later, she came back and said exactly that. So while I was out and about, I decided to stop at the local Barnes & Noble because I wasn't too far away to see if a particular magazine that I have an article running in was released to the newsstands yet. And so while I was there, I found that that magazine had not been released, and I went over and looked at a couple of other books and was getting ready to go make a purchase. And I passed the sales tables at the front of the store, and sure enough, I looked down, and what do I see but a book titled The Golden Mean, which was exactly the concept that I was relating to this whole theory of cycles that I have. So as you can see, I was being guided to discover this book, to put another link in the chain to drive me forward to this destined event, which is me cracking this code. This is the power of synchronicity. When you learn to harness the power of synchronicity, your life gets tremendously more effective because you're actually listening to the language of the universe guiding you along the path of your destiny. And this means that things come to you much, much easier, and it seems like you are just overwhelmed with good luck, and that opportunities just present themselves to you in mysterious ways. So if you're really interested in the concept of synchronicity, I highly encourage you to go to my website. That's synchronicityexpert.com, and sign up for the free magazine available there. That's Synchronicity in Your Life. We have 8 and growing contributing authors and an incredible amount of very powerful techniques and ideas discussed in the magazine. It is absolutely free. I encourage you to explore that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great holiday season.